Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of Regalytics, talking to you live from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, the final destination of our 700-mile RV trip. While some of you may have thought that Dollywood was the obvious choice for why we came all the way down here, it's not. My very precocious 4-year-old boy is completely obsessed with the Titanic and seemingly endless natural and human disasters, so we came all the way down here to show him the Titanic Museum that is shaped like the Titanic. He does not seem to understand the mass casualty part of the situation, as was pretty clear when he was shouting, "Oh no, the boat is sinking!" during the most somber part of the tour. Anyway, here we are in beautiful Tennessee on our way to Dollywood, ready to give your update on the 19,588 alerts last week, which compared to the 32,000 we were pumping out the last month, tells me that the regulators, thank goodness, are also on spring break. So here you go. The topic of the week is theme parks. Not because I'm on my way to Dollywood, but because it actually is Disney versus DeSantis. For those of you not in the know, Disney World is located in Florida, and it is the single largest Floridian taxpayer. Part of that relationship is the special district that Disney operates in, which is called Reedy Creek. And it was this area that essentially they were granted the right to operate their own services like fire, sanitation, airports, taxis, stadium, etc. It was granted way back in 1966, and it covers over 24,000 acres of land. Anyway, last year, Disney opposed the Don't Say Gay Florida bill, saying it impacted a number of Disney's workers and their families. DeSantis retaliated by passing House Bill 9, which basically ended the special district of Reedy Creek. So starting on June 1st, DeSantis can personally nominate 5 board members of his choice to oversee the district and ensure that it is following all regular state sanitation, water, fire safety, and reporting rules, etc. He, of course, has nominated all Republicans and presumably supporters of the Don't Say Gay bill, but how that's going to play out in relation to the safety of the water, I don't know. At the earnings call this week, the old but now new CEO, Bob Iger, said that the move was anti-business and anti-Florida. We'll see how this one plays out. Also this week, Disney negotiated a raise for all of its unionized workers in Florida. The Services Trades Council Union, the STCU, representing 45,000 theme park workers, announced that they ratified it with 97% of the workers agreeing to the $3 raise. The regulator of the week is the National Futures Association for adopting rules that became effective March 31st for all members dealing with digital asset commodities. Commissioner Carolyn Pham of the CFTC was happy with this move and noticed that it was a great example of an existing regulatory body doing its job. Meanwhile, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has announced the birth of a new regulator, the Office of Financial Technology. Big fines this week for Wells Fargo again, this time for sanctions violations. OFAC fined them $30 million and the Fed fined them $67 million. I guess some mid-level manager at Wachovia, a predecessor to Wells, sold some sort of lending software to a bank in Europe, who then used it to lend funds to companies in Syria, Iran, and Sudan. And the bank knew, or should have known, that it was likely to occur. Finally, Idaho passed a law, which is news in and of itself, as Idaho and South Dakota are on some sort of a race to be the least regulated state. Yet ironically, both are passing some twisted, moral code laws. Anyway, the new law says a public works contractor shall not be required to provide access to a multiple occupancy restroom, shower, or changing room on any basis other than biological sex. I mean, if you're passing a law to say you don't have to do something, isn't that kind of like over-regulating? And that's it this week for Regalytics. Join me every Wednesday for your dose of regulatory news, and for wherever I am in the world, of course, and that includes Dollywood, which is where I'm going now. Have a great day.